Park CrossFit, welcome back to another Fitness Friday video. You made it. You're another week into your fitness journey. This week we are wrapping up our Muscle Up series. We are on week 3. We are talking about cycling reps, specifically going from the top of that dip back into our nice solid kip swing that we learned last week, keeping that nice hollow body position. I am going to show you one way of doing it and then a better way of doing it. The first way is the more original way of doing it, and cycling those reps. It's going to include you falling out of the back as opposed to what I'm going to show you, which is a little bit more efficient, which is falling right down the center. Falling out of the back is actually considered a no rep if you don't get that full extension before you fall out. So also going to save you some no reps in some of those competitions down the road. So what I'm going to start with, I'm just going to show you those two versions, starting with 2 reps of falling out the back and then 2 reps of falling right down the center. Only 2. So as you can tell, when I fall out the back, I kind of let everything go. I let that fall out the back take me from the back into the front and back into my swing. It's a little bit bigger swing, which, as we talked about last week, makes my math equation a little bit longer, a little bit more challenging to solve. But when I fall right down the center, if you notice, I actually, when I fall down the center, I bring my toes right in front of me, get that nice hollow body position, and then as I hit tension, extend those arms, gosh, I'm out of breath. I get back into that nice anti-hollow body. The swing is a little bit shorter, it's a little bit more efficient. So when you come up out of the dip, we extend, and then we just drop right down the center. Those rings come right in front of my face, hit tension, and then we come right back into it. Now I'm going to change rings where you're going to get on a lower set, and I'm going to show you some drills in order to nail that. All right, here we are at some lower rings. Let's talk about setup first. These rings should be roughly nipple height, chest height. If you need a box in order to get on top of them, that's totally cool. You can also use little J-cups. Stand up nice and strong. The only thing you really need to focus on is being up nice and tall in a stable position in the top, and then in the bottom, you should be able to lock out your arms while staying just behind that center access line, so that rig post. Ideally, that's where we are. So going back to the first part and that difference in the reps, if you look at the slower motion version, if you slow that video down just a little bit, you'll notice that the first 2, I really try and shoot my hips my shoulders back and those rings out in front of me in order to create that kip. Something similar to this where I'm in the top and I lean back, kind of a trust fall. That's kind of what I want to get away from if you are someone that does that. And going straight down, there's still a little bit of lean back. That's natural because we are pressing those rings out. Chances are you're going to press them out in front of you. If you're doing a solid ring dip, hopefully that's what you're doing. Those rings are staying right in front of your body position the entire time. But in order to work on that cycle, that drop, getting comfortable with it, this is what I find most people struggle with the most, is they're not comfortable with falling straight down from those rings. If you can do, say, a butterfly pull-up, even a kipping pull-up, I promise you have the shoulder strength to take that load. You're still controlling your body, but it's just a little bit more of a free fall. So what we're going to do here, we're going to come up, start on the top of the dip. We are going to go dip, drop. My feet should land just in front of me. I lean back just a little bit, just like in the swing. I'm going to lean back. My reins are going to come back behind me just a hair before I hit that tension, and then that's going to pendulum me forward into the front of my swing, back of my swing, back into the muscle. So again, coming up to the top. Chances are your knees are going to be here, so we're going to come up, dip, drop. Come up, slight dip, drop. One last thing I want to talk about here. This goes back to week 1, and that is our grip. If you notice, you want to have that nice stacked wrist in the dip. On top of the ring, we should have let go, release that tension just a little bit in order to get our hands nice and over top into that strong dip. On the way down, same thing. In reverse, we're going to release tension just a little bit so that we can rotate around and back to where our knuckles are now pointed at the ceiling instead of at the floor. If you have any questions on anything that we talked about during this series, please let me know. I love the muscle up. It is a movement that I have nerded out on for the longest time. So if you want to get better, if you want to get more efficient, if you have any questions, please let me know. Also talk to any of our coaching staff members. They are all fantastic and would love to help you. And as always, especially with me, I would love to work with you in a personal training session. I have some specific strength stuff, skill stuff that we can throw at you. You'll see a little bit of that in the future, but I would love to work with you. So please let me know. And as always, awkward ending, enjoy your weekend.